Welcome to the Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from other high-quality podcasts. And now, your host, Alex from Swamp Rat Fishing, and the co-hostess with the mostest, the Jabberhammer, Paul Roberts.
Hey, welcome back to your weekly distraction from quality podcast content. Again, if this is your first time listening, Alex Swamp Rat Fishing ain't here. He's out doing his last tour in the Coast Guard. Appreciate your service. And he'll be back soon. I think we're at like sub 30 days when he'll be back. And thank goodness. So that way the Bass and Brews podcast will have some social media content coming back out again because I suck at doing that. Anyway, we got a good show lined up for you today. We got my buddy Dontrell Sullivan. Dontrell's a local angler here in the Raleigh area with me, kayak fishing. And our guest tonight is Mr. Jay Jackson, J2 Country from the Instagrams. And Jay, if y'all follow Jay on the Instagram, he's got a wild story, and he fishes for damn near everything that swims. And so... And he also, and I'll say this, and we'll get into this, he also drags Dontrell on a bunch of adventures that Dontrell probably would have never done if it wasn't for Jay. And I'm pretty sure Dontrell probably wouldn't be kayak fishing if it wasn't for Jay. But Jay, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing all right. You know, it's a little late, but here we are. I can't complain too much. Dontrell, how you doing?
Pretty good. Just getting off the water myself.
Well, there we go. Dontrell fishes 7 days a week, and sometimes
twice on Sunday.
There you go. Look at him. Well, look. So tonight we got three country people up on here. Though Dontrell's he kind of country. He spent a long time down here in the country, but me and Jay's real country. Like we from the country, and I hope there ain't no subtitles. But I hope the people listening on the podcast can understand what's about to happen right now. We've had worse, but here we are. We're going to let it roll. So Jay, what has brought you to where you are right now sitting on this podcast? What is the story that has got you here today in September 2022?
Like way back, like 2011 back?
Bo, that was like a blink of an eye. So yeah, you know, what's brought you to the point that from the Instagram and the social media and the fishing, what's brought you here right now? What's the story?
I mean, like back in 2011, like that's when I first started kayak fishing and everything. Because I was a straight bank fisher, pier fisher. You couldn't get me on a boat. You couldn't get me, let alone on a kayak or anything else. I was just straight tearing the banks up. So saw this one dude out there in Lake Rim. Lake Rim is notorious for being bad for fishing, like in favorite area. It's horrible. It's trash. But I mean, I've gotten it down to a point where I can fish it good now. But when I was on the dock, fish for crappie, one guy went out on his thing. Didn't know what it was at the moment. It was a kayak. He came back in, and half the time that I was fishing and pulled a whole string of crappie out. I'm looking like, bro, like, what is that? And how do I get it? How do I do this? Like, I want to know everything you're doing. So he ended up telling me that, hey, this is a kayak. Do you have a kayak? I was like, obviously I don't, because I'm asking what this is. I want to know. I'm on the dock right now. I got these two lonely small crappie. You got a whole string of 420. I'm like,
he got a mess of crappie to fry, and you over there ain't got enough to eat for dinner.
Exactly. Like, thin little things. You got, God, dog, I remember that day too. That day was lonely. That day was lonely. God. It was foggy outside. He went out. He came back in through the fog. I'm like, he doing some kind of magic trick out there. I don't know what he doing. But he ended up telling me, hey, I'm going to be back out here tomorrow. Come back out here with a kayak. All right. So I went to Dispo and Goods, talked to a whole bunch of guys in there. And next thing you know, I ended up walking out with a $300 kayak. I still have that kayak on my wall right now. My very first kayak ever.
What was it?
It's a Future Beach Trophy Angler 126 sitting kayak.
Okay, that's the one you probably don't see around much. I ain't never heard of that one.
The company went under now. You can't find those kayaks no more. It's gone. Like, I think that's the first kayak I got trail on too.
Yep, this is the future.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I put that kayak through the paces. Like, ever since I got it, he taught me everything within about like 30 minutes to an hour. The very next day, he said, "All right, you're good, go." And I ain't see that dude ever again. I can't go back to Lake for him to just to say, "Hey, man, thank you for helping me out because now you won't believe what's happening." But I ain't never seen this dude ever again, ever. I don't know what happened.
So that how long did you fish in that little kayak?
God, when did I get that sit on top kayak? It was 2020, I think. Yeah, 2020. So 2011. Yeah.
9 years into sit inside. Were you taking that out into the ocean and the stuff like that too at the time?
I was doing the intros. I wasn't doing the ocean because I thought about doing the ocean. I was like, but waves get into it, I'm done. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and stick into the inshores and whatnot, which I still shouldn't have because not. Yeah. So I mean, I still did it anyway. But then got into a sit on top kayak. It's made by Future Beach also, and I still got that kayak here too. So I got in that in 2020. And then I jumped the gun again and got into a stand-up kayak, which is a Lifetime Yukon Angler 116. And then later on in the year, that's when Old Town hit me up.
Well, we'll get into the Old Town talk, but 2011, man, that was back when kayak fishing still was kind of unknown. I mean, that was a long time ago. Were you videotaping? Were you creating content then? No,
nothing. I won't take no pictures. If I was taking pictures, it was rarely. It may be just like a fish like here. I'm like, oh, got a fish on the kayak, and that was it. It wasn't actually nothing. It wasn't until like 2020 actually, when I started recording with my cell phone. Like actually, like just holding the rod right here and hold my cell phone like right here. It's like, all right, like it was a circus show. It was a straight circus show.
So what was your fishing knowledge and experience when you first started? Was it just bank fishing and like soaking worms and stuff, or did you have some previous knowledge and experience, or did you just hop in that damn kayak and start learning from there?
No, it was mostly, I'm gonna say, bluegill fishing and catfishing. I did some bass fishing, but it wasn't heavy as far as with like say like artificials or anything like that. Pretty much, catch bluegill, put them on a hook, throw it out there on a bobber, wait until a bass gets it. It wasn't anything like we do now at all.
Yeah. It's way less expensive.
Yeah, most definitely. And so
$2 and a pack of worms, and you
right,
catch your bait, and you keep replenishing your bait after that.
Exactly.
Bluegill.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and just go up that species ladder.
Well, there ain't nothing better to fish for bass or big catfish with than live bait. Like there ain't nothing. It can be a day struggling, and you throw out some live bait, and the day struggling starts to end. You gonna get something if you're in the right place.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So when did you and Dontrell? When did y'all meet? When did y'all get connected? And how did you get his big ass out in the kayak?
We got connected back in Jack Britt High School. What was it, like 2004, 2006, something like that?
Yeah, freshman, sophomore year with JV football.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, sweet football! Hell yeah, y'all play football. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. So it was way back before we even started kayak fishing, and I just kept hounding him about going out in a kayak. Like I just kept going on. I was like, "Yo, you gonna come out here, dog?" And he kept saying no. Then one day he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, I have to make this happen. I have to make this work. He has to love this because if he doesn't, he's never gonna get back this over again."
This wasn't until after I went to college and came back. I think like summer break or something like that, and I was home. And he hit me up, and I kept saying no because in the back of my mind, I keep hearing my mom say, "Get your ass out that boat." Well, I kept putting it off for so long, but it was, and it was the same way with me. Like I didn't have any kind of bass fishing knowledge or anything like that. I was just, soaking worms or cut bait for catfish. That's what I did with TJ. So I didn't really have any bass fishing knowledge. And then I think you loaned me a lure. I think when you took me out there, it was like a small crankbait or something. And I caught my first bass out of that kayak.
That is right. It was like a, what was it, sexy shad crankbait.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Was it
2011? I think.
I think so.
Damn. So Dontrell, you've been fishing up in the kayak scene for a long time, then, huh?
Not really. I mean, he took me out that one time, but that was it. I didn't get my own kayak until 2018, 2017, something like that. Okay. I had one, but I mean, I wasn't really fishing out of it that often. I mean, it didn't, like, me constantly fishing didn't start until 2020 pandemic.
I got you.
That's when I really started like fishing like almost every day. There was nothing else to do. Well,
what
I usually do got shut down. So,
well, yeah, that you with about 2.8 other million people.
Yeah,
started fishing every day. So Jay, did you give him the good kayak, or did you sit him in the little sit inside kayak and be like, "All right, buddy, you follow me. you got to work for it."
That's it.
He had two of them. He had two of the City and Future Beaches.
I have a problem buying two kayaks at once because I want to get everybody to like, look, you're gonna do this too. You're gonna love it, and then you're gonna go out and buy your own kayak. All right, like it's like a little drug dealer. Like, hey, here's a little taste of it. You like that? All right, go ahead, get stuff in. You're hooked now.
People hooked on fishing. So we hear a lot about growing the sport, and all the podcasts you listen to, the fishing industry talk about growing the sport, and the sport's really not growing as a whole, with the exception of the COVID years, whatever. But in general, the kayak side of fishing is booming because mainly the cost of entry to get somebody from the bank, like both of y'all were doing, fishing from the bank, it gets them on the water. And now they can reach that stump and those spots that they couldn't reach before. So the fishing industry ain't necessarily growing, but the kayak industry of bass fishing and inland fishing is booming because people can still go buy a $400 or $500 kayak and get their ass off the bank and go fish just like a boat would. And in a lot of places a boat would. And then get into some of those places that they won't. Do you think that the kayak, and this is a question for both of y'all, since you kind of were at the same time and were bank fishermen, bank anglers, was that the biggest draw for getting into a kayak off the bank, was to be able to get out on the water and fish like you would if you were in a bass boat?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you're fishing on a bank somewhere, even if the whole lake is, if you can walk around the entire lake, it doesn't matter. You would always see fish jumping somewhere you couldn't get to.
Right in the middle.
I got to get on a boat. I got to be able to get out and, go to the other side of the lake where I can't walk through I can't walk on the bank on that side, or, they're out in the middle busting on fish. I got to get out there to where they're at. And so that's really the main reason why, people think they should be able to get into a boat or a kayak or something to get off the bank.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, you said it perfectly right there. Like, you're sitting on the bank line. If you're on the shore and you're just seeing fish out there busting, like you're sitting there trying to yeet it out there, and you cannot get it out there. You're just like, all right, hopefully one stray bass is just gonna see my lure and wants it. Nope, not today. All right, we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna throw my arm out end of the day.
And then you got your bait caster, and you try to send one to try to get out there, and you end up with a bird's nest. You just have to set that rod off to the side.
Hold up. Yeah, confession time. Confession time. I don't do bait casters.
Okay.
I'm strictly spinning reel.
What happened? or have you not had something happen that you don't want to happen, and so you stick with the spinning reels?
Oh nah, something's happened, all right.
What happened? You gotta tell us. You gotta tell us.
I've got too many bird's nests out of 3 different expensive reels. No, one not expensive reel, 2 expensive reels, and now they're just paperweight. I'm looking like I'm about to give them away on Instagram. So I'm like, hey, y'all, I don't like bait casting, but if y'all want to enter a contest, come on, it's like a $300 reel. Get it? Like, I don't care. Freaking tag everybody. I don't want this thing. But like one time, I was able to cast it perfectly. I was like, all right, let's see if I can reel it in. Reel it in, bass is on it. For some odd reason, bass is just taking line. I'm turning dials, I'm turning little knobs. I'm like, come on, please. Then I stopped. I was like, screw it, hand line it. We are putting it in. I'm just yanking it in. I'm like, yeah, no, never again. Because that was stressful.
This man got a $300 bait cast reel, and he's hand lining a fish in.
Man on him.
So here's the thing, Jay, you do a lot of fishing in the saltwater, and in the saltwater world, spinning reels are common. And you talking about there are people with spinning reels catching these damn like 30-inch redfish, these big bulls, and like fish that are fight much stronger than any bass you would ever catch. And they're out there with spinning reels all day long. Like the bass scene has this this negative view towards spinning reels for whatever reason. But the saltwater guys right there with spinning reels for the main part, that's the guys that I know, that's what they're out there chunking. They catching shit way bigger than a bass they would ever catch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the drag is right there on top, and it's right in my face. If it's pulling, I can go ahead and loosen it up, tighten it up. It's all right here for me. Baitcaster, don't even get me started. I'll let Trey have that.
It might be a line capacity thing because you can get more line on a spinning reel, I think, than some bait casters, unless you got one of those big ass.
Well,
I don't even know if they call them bait casters when they're that big.
Well, I think it's like a trolling.
Yeah,
but you can still get a 300 size bait caster that hold. I don't know how much line it holds, but it's going to hold as much line as probably a 3,000 or 3,500. I could be wrong. And if I am, y'all tell me, but I don't know. I'm just throwing some shit out there. But like some of these 300 size bait cast reels hold a lot of line. That's what a lot of people fish big swim baits and stuff on, get a little bit farther cast and this and that. But in general, the bait casting scene, it gets picked on, the fairy ones or whatever people want to call them in the bass world. But man, look, the only thing you need an apparatus. You need a rod and a reel that takes whatever the hell lure you throwing, and you need to get it to where the fish are. And then after you hook the fish, you just got to bring it in, and all the reels do that. Now you can get into the specifics of stuff with having bait casters to do certain things and reel and gear ratios. But a buddy I fish with out here on Sharon Harris, that's all he uses spinning reels. He throws a damn crankbait, the same size crankbait I got, like a deep little wind, so 8 to 10 feet, you get it. He's out there and he catches just as many fish as I do on that spinning reel, catching them. You're throwing that crankbait.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
Just use what you're comfortable with. It took me a minute to get comfortable with a bait caster, and I used. Well, I started with a cheap one, like from Walmart, a Quantum something, and I just kept the tension all the way tight, so I wouldn't backlash, and then eventually kept backing it off until I stopped getting backlashes. But I mean, that's all it was. I mean, it took a couple weeks, and then I was good using that. And then once I got deep into what I'm doing now, it's cost a little bit of money to get the good ones, but
a little bit.
They're nice.
Well, this man got $300 paperweights.
I didn't know that. I mean, you could have given to me on Sunday when you saw me. I didn't know you had $300 paperweights.
Dontrell's like, whoa, don't be giving them away on Instagram. Hold up.
How about this? We'll do a joint giveaway. Go follow your page. Go follow my page. Both YouTubes. Like
First of all, what is it, by the way?
He wants to know now.
one is a lose, and the other one is a Shimano.
Oh, hey, don't be giving them away yet. Let me and Dontrell talk about this now.
90% of my reels are Shimano.
Look, Dontrell, if we do this giveaway with Jay, I can promise you we're gonna win. We're gonna win those 2 reels. It's gonna be a rig giveaway. I'm going to tell everybody now. Y'all do what you got to do, but me and Dontrell winning them 2 reels.
Like, look who named me popped out the hat. All of a sudden, wow.
So, Jay, you were saltwater fishing and freshwater fishing at time? Because if people don't know, Fayetteville, North Carolina is about 30 minutes from a lot of good fishing on the North Carolina coast. And so were you doing both then, or did you get into the saltwater side once you started getting into a kayak?
Now, I'm gonna say by myself, I started getting saltwater side when I got in a kayak. Now, before then, it was with my uncle and my granddad. They constantly went out to on big charter boats. I didn't particularly like, because I mean they're going like 20, 30, 40, 50 miles out to catch, like marlin, sailfish, mahi, tuna, all that and everything. So,
You didn't like it?
I didn't huh?
You say you didn't like it?
I didn't really like it. I don't like big boats. Only time I'll actually be on a big boat is just to take the kayak onto a boat and get it off. Like, all right, let's put it in the water. Let's dump it off and let's hook it. Like, you and me gonna be doing that. I'm gonna get you into that.
Oh, you trying to give me some Robert Fields type shit, but it don't matter.
You're gonna do it.
If you fishing for like marlin and mahi and all that, I fish out of whatever you put me on.
You got to get him out that wheel free for y'all be doing some deep sea fishing now, because some shark gonna eat him.
Nah.
You get him in that old town where he can do something with it then.
I got plenty of kayaks to try to use.
Go on some 30-minute sleigh rides.
So you had some saltwater experience and you're close to the coast, so you were able to do both. What were the fish you were targeting when you first went out there and started fishing out the kayak in the saltwater?
Reds and flounder. And those are still my 2 favorite fish to fish for too. I'm gonna say flounder more so. Definitely. I mean, they sort of. I mean, here you go. So reds typically fight like bass, and flounder typically fight like catfish. I tell everybody that. Like, it's a hand in hand type deal. I love the way catfish fights because it'll come in kind of easy a little bit for a while and whatever. Then when it gets close to the kayak, it's diving. It's gone. It's like it's trying to get away from you. Same thing with flounder. It's going crazy. Sure, would you say that though?
Yeah. So I hooked. Well, like the last flounder I caught, like I didn't even know what it was at first because it felt like just solid weight. And then when it came up to the boat, then it started, trying to run. But I didn't know what it was until it got close to the boat.
So the majority of anglers that we've had on here, and this podcast really is geared towards content creators. The whole thing is get content creators, but they're creating content around fishing. And we've had a lot of anglers on here. Most of them have been freshwater, but we've had the Paddler's Playbook guys on from down in Texas, and they're primarily saltwater guys. And I don't think that people realize, like, they're in a mecca of saltwater fishing where they are.
Yes.
And so they're the Houston area, so they get all into Galveston and wherever the hell they fish down in there. And that's kind of a mecca for saltwater fishing. North Carolina is also kind of an unknown area. Now, and I say this not as a saltwater angler. As a saltwater angler, people might know that this shit's awesome. But for the folks that are listening, if you get an opportunity to go fish in the saltwater off the coast of North Carolina, it's one of the closest places to the Gulf on the East Coast. And so you have a lot of fish come into the inlets, and you got bull reds that you can catch that are huge. You got the flounder, you got everything. It's so neat to watch Jay and your adventures, because you are all over the place with the fish you're catching. You're crappie fishing, you're bass fishing, you're catching catfish, you're on the saltwater catching stuff. That that North Carolina saltwater scene has a lot to offer, especially for kayak anglers.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, I just want to catch everything. I just want to catch them all. That's it.
So you're a true testament of the tug is the jug.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I don't care. The bigger the fish, I love it. Like drag me. So I
It's
can
like that. Yeah. It's like
I
that
can
damn
scream.
10-pound. It's like that 10-pound catfish I caught at our tournament this past Saturday on Baden Lake on a drop shot. I thought I had something for a little bit till it came to the surface, and then I'm like, great. Now what I do with this big old nasty thing? So, well, what is your favorite fish that you're gonna fish for? Saltwater, freshwater? Like, what's the one thing that gets you up in the morning and gets you giddy?
Well, pretty soon, Trail is going to be fishing for a bull red. Yeah, because I want to cross that 40+ inch red off my list. Maybe, hopefully, 3 or 4 or 5 times in that one day.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, how far do you have to go out for that, or is that something they're moving into the inlets on that?
They're moving to some of the inlets, whatnot. I don't want to give specific spots out for people who are listening, but I mean, in that general area of like Neuse River area, whatnot, that's common, that's well known. And then as the water start to get colder, they'll start to move down to like the Wrightsville area, whatnot, and then they'll ship out past South Carolina and Georgia, come across and head straight over to like Corpus Christi area.
Look, you don't have to worry about giving out spots on this podcast because we have a bunch of people who listen, but there's only about 3 or 4 people who actually listen to what's being said. So you're safe if you want to talk about areas on this podcast.
I don't know. That one person might come to me like, "Hey man, didn't I give you that spot?"
Look,
yeah.
Jay gonna head out next weekend. There's gonna be like 80 people on this spot. He's like, "Where the hell did y'all come from, man? We listen to Bass and Brews."
I remember I did that one time. I actually put out a video on how to fish Lake Grimm. It was like sometime this year, and next thing you know, I had it was like 20 people out there in kayaks. I'm looking like, ain't nobody out there. I'm like, then I heard people talking about my YouTube video. I'm like, are you serious? Like 20 people come out here in kayaks because y'all saw the YouTube video and now y'all think y'all can fish Lake Grimm like that? No, y'all gotta work at it. Y'all gotta work at it.
Yeah, that's
never
the
known
thing.
for fishing.
Dontrell posted a lot of videos, and he's here at Raleigh local, and he posts videos of our local lakes, and so you hear a lot of people get upset about spot burning with YouTube videos. And now it's gotten a little bit better here recently because everybody's trying to put out YouTube videos. But you still have to, those fish might not be on that spot every day. That might have just been there that day. But
exactly.
even if it is a honey hole, you still have to go out there and be able to catch them. And it's different every day you go out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I went out to Lake Wheeler, and it was one day I was out there by myself, really, because it was raining. They were schooled up in a spot. I think I caught 6 or 7 off of that one spot. I've never seen them schooled up there again. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just because you see a YouTube video and, they're in this one spot doesn't mean you're going to be able to go out there and smash them on that same spot.
Exactly.
So, Jay, what got you started into wanting to record your stuff and share it through social media and create YouTube videos? What was the thing that got you started into wanting to do that? Because I think that leads into more. Well, I know that leads into more where you are now and how profound you become into the fishing community.
I say initially it's just get more people out there, and then essentially to like, because when I first got started into it, I didn't see any blacks out there. I'm the first generation out there in my whole family. My mom thought it was crazy. She was like, okay, let me go ahead get you a living will, and let me go ahead and get your life insurance straight and everything because you're going to die. Really, Mom? You could say, I love you, be safe. No.
Just normal stuff.
Right? So it was most definitely, I mean, it was most definitely getting more blacks out there and everything, get more people of color out there. And just to see, you know, because I believe in representation and whatnot. And the more black people see like me out there or shirt out there or whatnot, they'll be like, okay, this is a normal thing. And then they see other people and they're like, okay, this is we can do this too. Like, yeah, y'all can do this too. I mean, it's not just an Islander thing or a white thing, it's an everybody thing. Come on, like that's why I'm like, yo, let's grow the community. Like, and the kayak fishing community is awesome. Like it's simply awesome. It's you meet somebody and it's dope.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we'll go to something recent. You made a post. So this past Sunday, was it like 8 of y'all went out and were fishing off the coast? And you made the post about, you know, we're a mixed crowd of folks out here just enjoying fishing. And it was, you know, it was some white guys, some black guys, and y'all were just out there fishing. And, you know, that's the thing about fishing. It brings people together. It brings, it brings races together. It brings female and male together. There's no physical limitations in fishing that, like, it's not like football, right? You put, you know, you put a woman out there in the NFL and it's probably going to be a little rough. Fishing, there's no limitations in what you are. Matter of fact, the MLF guy in the Toyota Series just won the tournament. He ain't got no legs. Did y'all see that?
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all seen those posts? Go look that up. I apologize for not remembering his name and this stuff. I just scrolled through and saw it today. But I mean, he won a tournament and he doesn't have any legs. He's out there bass fishing. So I mean, there's no physical limitations that keep us from going out and fishing. And that's on a boat, that's on a kayak, that's from the bank. It doesn't matter. If you can get to a body of water and you can put a reel in your hand with some lures or some bait, you can fish.
Yeah, his name was Hunter Bauman. Because I just looked it up. Or I looked at I searched a YouTube video after I saw the MLF post, and I remember seeing him before on social media, but I didn't think he was, you know, fishing the MLF stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And then we just had a 15-year-old win the Hobie BOS on Dardanelle, and I'm pretty sure that he'd never been in a kayak. Yeah, first time in a kayak. And so that's the biggest thing with the kayak part of it. You know, we have some bass boat guys, and every now and again when we have a kayak centric podcast, they're like, yeah, I kind of get lost in this and that. I'm like, well, look, man, you had never tried to fish out of a kayak, but it's an equalizer for fishing. Not everybody can go out there and buy a John boat, put a motor on it and that stuff. Plus the space, you know, hauling it. The kayak just creates a different opportunity for people to get out on the water. So you started your social media stuff. You know, you wanted to just go out there, share your story. How long did it take you to start getting traction? Like what was it right away, or did you have to work for it for a couple of years? Like what was that timeline from where you started to kind of where you are now, where people know you and people are reaching out to you to be on their teams and the sponsor and for you to be a sponsor of theirs?
It was very quick. It was surprisingly. I posted every single day of just regular stuff, like just me going out there fishing. If I catch a fish, I catch a fish. If I catch a little fish, I'm posting it. If I catch a big fish, I'm posting it. Some people only post a big fish. I'm like, look, this is real fishing right here. I caught this little dink. It was 11 inches, and this is all I caught. All right. So here's a picture.
Yep.
I posted every day from it was 2020, January all the way till I want to say it was like May. And that's when the first sponsor came about, which was Tactic and Fish Eye. And me and them started talking a little bit, and it was like, yeah, we love what you're doing. We love what you're about. How about you thought about being one of our athlete sponsors? I'm like, you get sponsored for this stuff? No way. You're lying. This is a fake account. It's all sending me everything. I'm like, this is real. Oh God, this is real. What do I do? I don't got to record my phone no more. So yeah, I mean, it was very quick to gain traction and everything. After that, it was Carolina Waters, which glad Trevor's up on the team now, because I definitely vouched for him. I was like, yo, sign, please. Like, yes. If I get him on every team I'm on, I'm like, yo, do it. Like, yo, Fisher, say do it. Old Town, do it. Red Blazer, Yak Gear, do it. Sign him too.
Man, so that's what's awesome about the community too, is these companies can find people that really benefit them, and where that y'all two are bringing value to that company as well. I mean, y'all are, you're two black guys. You're reaching a different demographic than somebody like I am. And so I'm from the Piedmont or the PD area, South Carolina, kind of eastern South Carolina. Y'all from eastern North Carolina. There's a huge minority population that fish every day, every weekend. They out there fishing. And that's a whole different demographic you can reach, because bank anglers are the ones that drive fishing and fishing sales. They're a majority of the fishing community, or the folks fishing from the bank or from the docks, or stuff like that. The ones in the boats are a smaller side of that. But to be able to reach out and to touch somebody else, and like you said, Jay, get more people into fishing and getting them out into kayaks, because it's a workout getting out on a kayak too.
Oh yeah.
You ain't just out there farting around. I mean, you can, but even if you are out there just farting around, but you gonna expend some calories. And this is coming, Jay, also, if y'all don't know, is a big CrossFit guy. So if you look at this stuff, you're not only gonna get fishing, you're gonna get some health and make your body look better videos. I obviously have not watched those enough, because I'm
Yeah, man, it's a little bit of everything.
So tell us that side of it, Jay. Where does the CrossFit come in? How does that? Because your YouTube channel, I don't know if your YouTube does, but your Instagram channel has both. Like, how does that fit in with what you do with fishing?
I mean, with CrossFit, it's functional fitness. Like anything that, like, think about CrossFit wise, I'm gonna translate it into kayak fishing. To say doing a deadlift, you're, how can I say, not even bringing a fish up at the kayak from the side of the kayak, whatnot, if it's a big fish. But say if you're lifting your kayak up onto the back of your truck, you essentially want to do it in a good form, so you want to throw your back out. So you're doing a deadlift from the ground up and just pushing it in. Like, it can be anything CrossFit related. Is functional fitness. It could be translated straight into fishing, kayak fishing, bow hunting, anything. Say if you're putting your kayak on top of your car or something like that, that's gonna be a push press. You're doing straight from there. So you want some good form, once again, not throwing your back out. Like, I'm not gonna stop doing CrossFit. At first, I was doing it as a competitor wise, traveling, chasing competitions and everything. And I was now thinking back at it, I was a freak of nature, because I was like squatting 455 and still 165 pounds. I was like, yeah, I was a freak of nature back then. But now,
back then, like 6 months ago.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, so Jay, you got Dontrell into kayak fishing. Why his ass ain't doing no CrossFit?
Yeah, I tried back in college. I liked it. I did it, but the issue with CrossFit is it's expensive as hell.
So is fishing. You had to
well, yeah, but I'm not gonna feel bad about $100, $200 reel,
because you still have it.
With a $200 gym membership that I'm not using.
and it's gone.
Jason, you got a $200 reel. You still got it. You spent $200 on your Gold's Gym membership, and you went one time. That shit gone.
Exactly.
I'm good with my $20 gym membership that I got now.
Look, Dontrell, me and you both need to get on some kind of, it don't got to be CrossFit, but we got to get on just something fit. We need to get on something fit because I've gained more weight, the heaviest I ever been, since I got this damn pedal kayak, and I thought I was going to lose weight. I done gained weight since I got this thing.
Shit, come to think of it, me too.
Probably because I get home after not catching fish on a tournament or on a practice day, and I get home, I'm all depressed, so I just start, depression to eat.
You know how Greg Blanchard, when he has his bad days, he'll go to In-N-Out?
Yeah.
He had a little bit of too many bad days.
That's right. Come home, get a tub of ice cream, eat the whole damn thing, thinking about how sorry
God.
you are at fishing. All right, so talk about the most recent trip y'all just. So for folks that don't know, Dontrell, look at that big old dog. Oh my God, is that a Dalmatian?
Yeah, it is.
I hope that dog's trained because that's a wild dog there.
Nah, she's pretty chill. I mean, she gets excited when new people are around. She jumps on everybody, but she's pretty chill.
Why don't you take her on the kayak fishing with you?
That's not gonna happen. She don't like water.
Well, good. You ain't got to worry about her jumping in.
Well, I don't think she'll sit still either.
Yeah. Be done tipped you over. Talk about y'all's the trip we referenced earlier where you had like 10 folks, y'all went out on the saltwater. How did y'all get that set up? Was it a bunch of buddies? Was it guys that y'all met just throughout fishing? Like what started that? What got y'all out there?
So initially, like I just want to get everybody in the saltwater. I mean, I'm gonna get Dontrell out there. I'm gonna get Trail out there at any time, any day. Like if he's free, I'm like, yo, let's go salt. Come on. I know you're a bass fisher, but today we're gonna do something else. Yeah. But as far as that though, me and this one dude, Jared, he stays down by the coast a little bit because Fayetteville is actually about like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from the coastline. So I was like, I just want to get everybody together. So he got his wife and a buddy together. She has a Topwater 106 PDL, and he has a salty PDL, and Jared actually has a salty PDL also too. So then I hit up one of my homies, Ryan, and then he hit up one of his homies, Elliot, and I hit up Trail, and initially Trail was like, I got a vibe. I was like, well, it's gonna be all old towns out there, man. So
So I know I was like, is it a old town lonely party? I mean, that's like, I know you got a kayak for me to use if that's what it is.
Look, he didn't want to show up and be like, everybody
like he's been a vibe. Like that's not the vibe, man. I know that's not the vibe, but sorry. So yeah.
If he just showed up that vibe, they'd be like, I bet he uses this spinning reel upside down.
I honestly don't know how the vibe would have did out there because initially we did go offshore until the wind started turning and we was right in between the tide change too.
Oh shit! Y'all get some.
Yeah, it was. Well, Trey, how was the waves and the swells and everything?
If you were not an experienced kayaker, you probably would have panicked. But I mean, in the salty, I was fine. I mean, I didn't really think it was, something to be panicking about because I was fine. I didn't feel like I was going to be, rocked or tipped over or anything like that. But I mean, it was fine. I mean, we could have kept going, but we decided to be safe and turn back around and head back to calmer waters.
Yeah.
Well, and that brings up a good point too about since we're talking mainly about kayak fishing and getting into kayak fishing, that's also something to say about getting that $200, $300 kayak and feeling secure and safe versus going out there in a $1,500 kayak or a $3,000 kayak. Like you're going to be able to not only feel safe, but still fish in inclement weather and not even inclement. Let's just say you got 12-mile-per-hour winds on Sharon Harris out of the north. That lake sets up north-south. So 12-mile-per-hour winds on there, you can't hide. I mean, even if you want to go into some creeks and fish and get away from it, you still got to get out there into the shit to get over there. And if you're tipping over, I mean, worst case scenario is you're not wearing a life vest and you drown. But more often than not, you're going to lose the stuff that you brought with you. So, that's a lot to say too about being able to, and Jay, I think this is one of the things that it sounds like you do really good is you have all these different kayaks. And so you get people out there, you're inviting people to come, try kayak fishing. And you have all these different kayaks that they can try, and you get them out there in the little sit-in sides and then the cheaper sit-in tops. And then you put them out there on a Old Town PDL. And they get to start to experience it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't waste that $500 on this lifetime kayak and save another $500 and buy a used Old Town or Native or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And that's to say something too about what you're doing in the community that you are with getting people out there. Is you're giving them a bunch of different experiences, and that's pretty neat, man. There's not a lot of folks that are bringing people in and really helping them, and you have the resources to give them that those different perspectives so they can make a better decision in what they want to do.
I know he spoiled somebody. He set somebody's expectations high. He let somebody go on a joyride in his AP 120.
And what happened after that?
Oh, I don't know, but if he wants a kayak and he wants something close to that, it's not going to be cheap.
No.
That's his first kayak.
Yeah, man. I mean, because the AP 120, I mean, dude, I haven't posted on Instagram or anything like that, but I posted on my stories. I probably got like maybe 200, maybe 300 people watching my stories daily. But like I post my AP on there, I post the MK on there or whatnot. And if I'm out and about, say around these one lakes or whatever, I'll tell people like, hey, come on, get on. Mm-hmm. Now, get on. Come on, let's go. Like, here's a life jacket. There you go. Just safe. I'm gonna instruct you how to do this. Okay. You got 10 minutes? All right, cool, because you're gonna take 20. All right, go. Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely grateful and blessed to be able to actually have all these sponsors and have all these companies, stand behind me and back me up and see what I'm doing for the community wise, because I'm definitely about the community. Even from back in 2011, like, I mean, because I didn't have to go out and buy another kayak, the same exact kayak at that. My literal thought was like, I need to get more people into this. I have to, because when I found out about this and when I felt the joy in everything I felt about it, I'm like, why aren't people doing this more? Like, I'm gonna save my money up. I'm gonna spend my money and buy another kayak, and I'm just gonna invite people out. So I'm basically just doing the same thing I did back in 2011, just on a bigger scale now. And hopefully I'll be able to do it on a nationwide scale, which is gonna be the next plan. I want to be able to visit every state. I'm gonna hit North Carolina first, then South Carolina, Virginia, and start branching out and just keep going until I hit California, Washington State. Let's go to Mexico, dude.
Mm-hmm. And so when you think about people creating content, I think a lot of them want to create content to make money and get sponsors and get discount codes, right? What do you think that your videos showing you getting people out into the water and kind of sharing the experience, and how much do you think that helped with a lot of these, with your catapult into the sponsorship realm? Do you think that community outreach and showing that and showing those folks getting engaged helped you?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, because I'm not gonna say it's selfish for people, but sometimes they really don't want to watch until they're included, and that's not a bad thing at all. Because once they get included in something, then it's like, oh wow, like I actually know what this is now. I actually know why he's putting this out there like this. And it's like, yeah, it's some people actually think it's for me, but I'm like, nah, I don't need all these kayaks. I'm only one person. Like, I got 2 salties right now. Why do I have 2 salties? Like, seriously, I don't need 2 salty PDL 120s. Like, if I want to go out on my salty, get Trevor on my salty, and get somebody out on the MK, get another person on the AP, like let's all go. Let's go 4 wide. I don't care.
Well, it's a good thing you got an extra salty because Dontrell didn't have to show up in his vibe reeling a spinner reel.
Exactly.
So Jay, how tall are you? And this is a question. Once you answer this, I'll tell you why I'm asking this question.
In my mind, I'm 6'5".
What's your mama say? How tall does your mama say you are?
I'm 5'8".
Look, I asked this because I saw that picture of you standing beside Brandon, that bass fishing dude who's been on here. And look, Brandon's a big boy. We all know, 7 foot, tallest kayak angler in the world. Man, you look like my 8-year-old standing beside me, standing beside Brandon. And if anybody, the people who are still listening to this podcast, go on Jay the Country on Instagram and scroll through, and you can't miss it. Jay looks like an 8-year-old child standing next to his hero.
And I've it's been floating around. That's like that picture with that Kevin Hart took with Shaq a while back.
It's just like that too.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like. Like Kevin Hart standing beside Shaq with Jay and Brandon.
Because when we was done at ICAST initially, like I was on a boat demo day. And I was out there and everything. So all I heard was J2 Country. I'm looking like, hey, who's calling my name? I'm like, oh, who are you, bro? What's up, Brandon? Man, you better back up. Hey, I'm level. Back up, please.
So hey, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture together. You're like, hold on, let me go stand on the back of this truck.
Right?
So this is cool, dude. How was ICAST? I know you got invited this past year. So how was that, and how did that even get started?
Man, ICAST was. I still process it every now and again. I'm still like, I can't believe I went there. Got invited by Old Town. Like it was all of a sudden. It was like, hey, you free these days? I'm like, yeah, I'm free these days. Okay, well, ICAST. I'm like. Okay, ICAST. And I was like, yeah. So it was Old Town took care of everything for me. I didn't have to worry about anything like that. Oh man, hold on. Jeez. You put a heavy one on me. Okay.
Well,
first day.
I'll say this as you're thinking, because folks, let's take the Classic for instance, right? There's the majority of people at the Classic go as observers. With ICAST, you just can't be a regular person and show up. You have to have media credentials, or you got to come with somebody who's there. It's the same thing, but for somebody that's never been, you're going into one of the biggest industry trade shows where it's just you and all the other industry people. That's who's there. So there's a little bit of a starstruck that I'm assuming is probably there.
Yeah, I mean, all the big names you hear about fishing wise, content creators, some people who have like 400,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube, people who are Major League Bass fishermen, like everybody out there, like you just like, I ain't never think I was gonna meet you ever. And you sitting there shaking their hand, and you're like, okay, so and they ask me who I am, whatnot. Like, okay, let me go ahead and follow you on Instagram, man. I like your stuff. Like, let's make a fish, whatnot. Different companies and whatnot. I mean, it was unreal, and to actually realize how many people actually know of me was unreal too. Cause I was like, because I'm in my mind, I'm still a regular guy, and I'm always gonna be a regular guy. Like no matter what, I can be TikTok famous, Instagram famous, YouTube famous. I don't care. Like I'm gonna be a regular guy. You can still come up to me, shake my hand. and I'm still about to go fish with me. Let's go. So, but just to have a lot of people actually come up to me, and I didn't know their name. I mean, I was humbled by it. I was really humbled by it. But just to get out there and ICAST and talk fishing, just for like almost a week straight, get people out on like the boat demo days, like, hey, come on, let's go. Like, they had to pull me out of the sun. They're like, yo, Jay, you're doing too much, man. Come on, let's get in the shade. I'm like, I'm built for this, man. Let me give some water. I'm good. Let's go.
Look, give me a liquid IV, and I'm good for the next 8 hours.
Exactly. I carried around with me. I'm like, all right, hey, get in this boat, man. You'll love it. All right, don't worry about this. Keep it above me. That's all I gotta do. All right.
Look, that man out there got an IV in, pedaling around a boat. Anybody can do it.
Exactly. So I mean, getting people out there on the demo days is great. Getting people just to come by with booth. I mean, just to link up with individuals, like especially people who are on Instagram or YouTube or whatnot, and then we can actually meet in person. That like solidify a relationship right there. It was nonetheless dope, man. Like ICAST, if anybody ever happens to get the chance to go to it. Like you will not regret it. You will not regret it.
And so you brought up a point that I want to touch on that goes back to you just being out locally fishing. You said you met people at ICAST that knew who you were and how humbling that was. How often do you go out fishing and have people come up to you and be like, hey, man, you're Jay Country, that know you? Do you have that happen a lot? And how does that make you feel? And like, is that a driving force for you to keep going sometimes maybe when you're like, damn, I ain't catching no fish. Fishing sucks. I don't want to post anything. Like, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel real good. I've actually had it. I'm probably say about maybe 20 times, maybe if I'm counting. And I'm just like, it's cool. It's really cool. It's like people actually watch my videos. People are actually like sharing my stuff or whatnot. I actually had one guy. I went down to the coastline and I had a pretty fire day out there too. And I was coming in, and next thing you know, I mean, some guy came up and he was like, "Hey, EJ Jackson, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, do I owe you money or do I hit your truck or something like that? What did I do? I was like, dude, I watch your videos. I love your Instagram. I was like, oh, snap. And I was talking with this one family. It was a black family. And they was asking about the kayak and everything too. And same thing, you know, they didn't know black people do that. I was like, yeah, I mean, whenever, like, take my Instagram down, take my cell phone number down, Facebook, yada, yada. And hit me up, and whenever y'all want to go out, I'll meet y'all somewhere. And the guy comes up and he's like, hey, this guy right here, he's a celebrity. I'm like, I'm not. I'm not.
You are. You're not in your eyes, but you are to those folks, especially locally. I mean, you know, where y'all are is very rural. Fayetteville, besides the base, is rural.
Yeah.
And the areas you're fishing is rural. So, you know, for folks to be able to see you on social media and YouTube and all this shit, and to get to meet you, like that might be the most famous. You might be the most famous person they've ever met.
Yeah, I mean, and then you talk about, you know, what we've talked about, like representation. And, you know, you have people you have kids, they're always on Instagram or YouTube, and they're always on social media, you know, and they might like fishing, but all they know is bank fishing. If they're going out with their uncles or dad, all they do is bank fishing. Yeah. They come across your profile and it's like, this guy's on a boat. And then they see you out in public, out in real life, and it's like, hey, you're that guy. And so you're always gonna want to be that person for somebody else, to let them know that, hey, this is cool. This is what we do. If you want to be a part of it, just let me know.
Definitely. That's the nail on the head right there, honestly.
Yeah. And Dontrell, have you had that happen here locally where you are?
Not really. One time I've had it happen, and I was in Dick Sports off of Capitol, I think.
Oh yeah.
This was before I changed my Instagram handle, and usually when people call me by my Instagram handle, it's because they know me because of my car, and so
Yeah. We got to talk about Dontrell before he got that little Ford Ranger too. Go ahead, keep your story up, but y'all remind me in case I damn forget on get on some other stupid ass topic. We got to go back to Dontrell fishing with that what is it, a hunt? Anyway, finish your story. We'll go talk about your car because that's a funny ass story.
Yeah, but I was in Dick's. I was looking at some baits and stuff, and this guy came up to me. He's like, "TL Trail," and I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I follow you on Instagram." He was like, I watch your videos and stuff like that. I mean, I put out YouTube videos like every now and then, and it's just editing is a whole lot. Like I don't.
Quit complaining. We talked about this other day. Your ass needs to start.
Yeah, he was just like, I watched your videos and this and that. I'm just like, okay, cool. And he was like, he's actually somebody who works for Mystery Tackle Box. He works for Mystery Tackle Box somewhere in there, and he was like, I want to get a whole bunch of, or I'm in a group, or I'm trying to start a group of, black anglers that are in the Raleigh area, and so he took my number down and he added me to this GroupMe app, text group with a bunch of other guys, and we talk and share pictures and stuff like that every now and then. It's pretty cool. We haven't done like a meetup or anything, but it was just pretty cool if somebody recognized me for that wasn't my car, which is what I had posted 99% of the time.
So Dontrell, first of all, y'all go look at Dontrell's page and skim through the last about 14 months, and you'll get down to his car. What kind of car do you have? And were you hauling around a kayak on that car?
Yeah, it's a Acura TL. I was car topping it because I had a light kayak, one of the sit-in kayaks first. I think it was a Pelican, I think. Easy kayak to car top. Wasn't an issue.
But hold on. Look, hold on. Jay, you were talking about CrossFit and being able to press up the kayak and all that shit. Look, on Dontrell's car, you ain't have to press up nothing. It's amazing. That car was able to ride down the road because it was so low.
Let me tell you. All right. So there's been plenty of times where
I'd rather
he was falling behind me in my big old truck. I'm looking like, how is he make it down these roads? This is a big pothole. I think he was doing this right here. Just look like he's making it. Let's go. He's serious. This car's about this far from the ground.
Yeah.
I remember we went down the Cape Fear River one time and Locking Dam. That's like a 2-3 mile dirt road before you even get down to the damn river.
Yep.
So I'm following Jay in his lifted truck down the dirt road.
Look, that car.
I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about him.
But look, y'all could have put that car on top of your truck, Jay, because that car is almost the size of my Hobie. All right, Dontrell. So keep talking about when you first started fishing. You had the car topping, because that's the other thing, right? Everybody, if people go out there and they see kayaks on trailers, they think they need a kayak. They got to have a truck. You don't have to. You don't have. Dontrell's talking about a slam low Acura, hauling kayaks all over the place for 2 years before he bought his little Ranger.
Yep, and it got heavier because after that Pelican, I got a Sin 12T, something like that.
That's a barge there.
Yep. The Field and Stream Shadowcaster, all barges. 90 pound kayaks, and so I was car topping those. Yep. and car topping those got old quick, so that's when I had to find me something to throw in the back. I can throw those kayaks in the back.
Look, Jay, you probably, if you've ever been at the ramp before Dontrell got there and it's on a gravel road, you always know it's Dontrell. because you're sitting there waiting, you got the boat in the water, you're just sitting around shooting shit, having a biscuit beating, and all of a sudden you see headlights and you hear a truck coming down, like, damn, how fast are they going? 100 miles an hour. It was like, oh shit, that's Dontrell. Get out the way. This man ain't never been on time to launch. He is always 10 minutes and 100 miles an hour behind. We left the house this past Saturday for the tournament, and we all go, and me and the other guy, Wiggs, we get to the ramp. I'm like, where's Dontrell? So I don't know. He looks, he texts me he's going to McDonald's. Look, we don't have 15 minutes.
I didn't bring. Well, yeah. That was my routine. I was planning on going to McDonald's, but I left later. I left at the same time as you guys. I should have left before.
I know we left 15 minutes later, and we wanted to. You still went to McDonald's. The funniest is when we fished falls earlier this year, Dontrell. We put in at the river. And you were running late, and you were coming down that damn gravel road. We're all sitting in our kayaks at the ramp, and you can see the gravel road. We're like, holy shit, that dude's fucking flying. Like, what the hell's going on? And back in.
Surprisingly, I might be a little bit more late than he is. Yeah. Guilty. Now, see, I'm not going to McDonald's because I don't eat out. But I'm sitting here like making burgers, making chicken, making rice, and everything. I'm like, all right, get all my meals together. I'm like, because I'm on the water eating. Like, I got all my meals in a cooler, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to reach back here. I'm going to give me a sandwich. I'm going to.
Hold up. You take meals on the water?
Yes, sir.
Just
Exactly. I'm about to say, I always done that, haven't I? It's just like, yeah, big cool in the back, ice pack, got drinks, I got hamburgers, french fries, and they're all cold. They're all cold.
I thought and I looked inside Ryan's cooler on Sunday. That guy had Lunchables in there. He had drinks. He had Uncrustables in there. I was like, he was good. He's camping out here. He was good to go for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Y'all look in my damn cooler when I'm out fishing. If I got down tournament days, I bring a cooler. I got 3 electrolyte packs. I got 4 bottles of water, and then I might have a Slim Jim from the gas station that morning. That's it. Like, and I'll have, out of those 4 water bottles, 3 of them will be slap frozen solid with an ice pack in there. That's it. I don't eat on the water. I have to make myself drink. Like, I can't. I don't do it, man. I get so focused in on fishing. I can't be out there eating. Not to mention, like, I ain't a germaphobe or nothing. But when I start catching fish and I start using the KY jelly of bass fishing, aka bait fuel, and I don't want to be putting shit in my mouth. But I don't carry a lot of food out there eating.
Okay, see,
there's a couple times I've come back to the ramp with both of my sandwiches, and like when I'm tournament fishing, I'd have to make myself eat, or if I'm making a run, that's when I'll eat. But I won't stop fishing to eat. I have to be taking a break, or actually taking a run to another side of the lake or something like that, where I'm not actively fishing, and then I'll try and eat my sandwich real quick.
Yeah,
that's probably why I wouldn't be a good tournament fisher, because I feel my stomach getting hungry. I'm like, all right, maybe we got 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do one more. Don't do another cast. Okay.
Jay's like, hold on, it's lunchtime. And he got a hamburger, French fries, a Caesar salad, and some chicken salad. He got a whole spread out on the kayak.
I'm not gonna lie.
So
all that goes out the window when it's 12 o'clock. Right. And you only got 1 fish on the board uploaded to Fishing Chaos. You ain't worried about food.
Look, I'm breaking off that Slim Jim, putting it on as a trailer, hoping something will bite me. Let me tell y'all a funny story. So we done talked about being country. So in the early 2000s, like 2000, I think it's 4 or 5, somewhere in there, I fished out of Alamance County Bassmaster Clubs out of Graham, North Carolina, and that's country. And we had a guy that would fish, and he made a whole loaf of bread sandwich. Like he took the whole loaf of bread out and made sandwiches and put the whole loaf back in. And so the whole day he had a whole loaf of bread with damn meat sandwiches in it, would just eat them all day long.
I like that.
Yeah, if you ever ask him for one, he'd be like, no. He wouldn't share them or nothing. The whole day fishing, 8 hours, he'd eat a whole loaf of bread of sandwiches. He pre-made the sandwich, the whole loaf of bread, put the damn thing back in the sack, tied it up, and would eat it.
Sure, you know what I'm doing. I'm doing this out there.
Dontrell, you better get that. You better get that on video. If he pulls out a loaf of sandwiches, you better pull. That's got to go on the socials.
I will model it too. I'll be like,
yeah, that's right. It look like hold it up like you got a 7-pounder.
I'm gonna put it on the catch board. I'm like, boom, right here.
That's right. Measure it out. Look, with three cuts of ham and a loaf of bread, it is 37 inches. It hangs off the board.
Hello.
So do you do any tournament fishing, Jay, or are you strictly just fun fishing?
2020, I did 2 online tournaments. I placed pretty high. It was like a nationwide online tournament, and it was like 500 anglers. And next thing you know, I was what was it? One of them I was 20th, and the other one I was like 15th. I was like, okay, I placed pretty high. But during those tournaments, I was so stressed out, and I almost lost the love of fishing. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I may do a tournament like once every year, something like that. But I mean, chasing tournaments, hats off to Trail. Hats off, because dude, you're a hammer at it. I told him, man, you're the comeback kid. You can be dead last by 12 o'clock and somehow, some way, get a whole limit, and then get up in the standings. I'm like, how do you do this?
That's interesting that you say, and you're right, because Dontrell had a limit this past weekend, got him up into almost the top 20 of a tough day of damn fishing for sure.
16.
So it was top 20. There you go. I mean, top 20 out of 62 people, and these were 62 of the best anglers in the state. I mean, for all intent and purposes, because they were the ones that fished and qualified. So, Jay, it's funny that you said that it made you almost lose the love of fishing. I'll tell you, I don't like the fun fish. Like when I go out fishing in the kayak, I'm fishing for bass, and I'm fishing for a reason. I'm practicing a new lure, a new technique, boat position. Like there's a reason that I'm out there fishing.
Yeah.
I love the competition side of it. So we talked about, we played football in high school. I played football in college. I played sports. I played 3-4 sports through high school. Like I like that competition side of it. I like to go out there and compete. And I don't ever go to a tournament with a mindset that I'm not going to win. Chances might be small, but my mindset is I'm out here to win. And if I don't, I'm pissed. So these are my goals when I tournament fish. First, in the money, or I suck. Those are the 3 options. Either I'm first and I won money, or I'm not first, but I won money. And if those 2 things didn't happen, I'm pissed. I'm like, I'm compartmentalizing shit. I'm trying to figure out, how do I make this better? But it makes me want to go the next day. I want to go out there and fish the next day. I'm going to stay fishing that day. But for you to, you come from a competitive background, you're doing all this, and you just like to go out there and fish and share it with people. And, you get back and forth on that, but you've been successful at the sharing part. And I think that's a big difference between you and I, at least, because people want to fish with me. I'm like, I tell them, I'm not fun to fish with. You can come fish with me, we'll fish, but I don't really talk. I scream and holler at myself a lot. I get mad. I cuss. Like I'm 100 miles an hour. I'm not fun to fish with. I'm not just going to go hang out and float around and fish. I'm not going to do that. But that's the other thing. Yeah. But that's the other thing with what, Jay, you've been talking about this whole conversation is you love to take people out there and give them that experience. And I think that is something that a lot of anglers miss. They get so dialed in. They're like me. They get so dialed in with the fishing that they can't share that experience. And they can't make it fun for somebody if you don't even catch a fish. Like you have that gift to make it fun and exciting and make them feel like this is something I could do.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, even when we went out there to assault last time with Trail, like he absolutely whooped me with flounder fishing. Like, I mean, yo, salute. Because he caught some keepers back to back there. I'm like, you catching new species and anything, cross species off your list that you probably didn't know you had on your list. But you know,
y'all have a fish fry?
But you know, I have fun knowing that he had fun, that he was able to reel in some keeper size flounders and everything, and to be able to watch him actually catch one of his first keeper flounders, like he was right there behind me, and I heard him, and I look around, I'm looking like, oh snap! Off my ride down. I was like, I gotta see this. Because I'm like, I'm getting hyped. Like I just caught it. I didn't catch it. He caught it. I'm like, yo, I'm hyped about this. For real.
Now, I love to see people catch fish. I'm an open book. I don't believe there are secrets in fishing. I love sharing information about fishing. Matter of fact, I did it today with a guy. You know, I shared, and he's a really good angler. Does good. He's a bass boat guy, so he fishes the boat tournaments. But he's doing good in the local trail he's fishing here. And we went out. He learned a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, you know, that made me feel good. But if we were on a tournament and he had an 8-pounder come off, I would be like, tough luck, buddy. Better luck next time. Hopefully you don't catch any more of those, you know. But but I do love to see people catch fish. And I think that is one thing, regardless of your competition aspect of it, is that to see somebody catch a fish and to see that look on their face and you be able to go over there and take that picture, that is something special. And I think it's even more special on a kayak because when they get that big fish and you know that they're excited or they get that new species and you roll over there, like they just go from being by themselves and alone and you roll up in that kayak and now you get to see that raw emotion. And, you know, it kind of, to speak philosophically, it kind of goes to how kayak fishing is. You're closer to the water. You're closer to the fish. You know, you're a little more in depth with nature in that kayak than you are in a boat, and I like that.
Definitely, that's definitely true, man. Like, I think that's one of the things why I like kayaking too, just because you're all close to nature essentially. Hey, there's been times where I went out fishing and had a bomb day, and I was like, you know what? I put my rod down and I could just chill out. I could just leave my chair back and just enjoy real quick. Soak it all in. Like I've accomplished enough. I'm good. Or there's some days I had some terrible days of fishing. And I'm just like, all right, this sucks. Well, at least it's cool out here.
You just saw an eagle or you know, you just saw eagle come down and grab a fish and tote it off to its nest. I mean, you know,
exactly.
Hey, do y'all know Country Boy Creek Fishing? He's in Fayetteville. He's down there where you are, Jay. Steve McCullough. You know Steve?
Yeah.
You ever fished with Steve?
I have. He actually got my lifetime Yukon 116.
Man, we had Steve on this podcast, and he has some of the greatest quotes and clips from us ever recording this podcast. That man, me and him hit it off right away because he country like I'm country. And so, Jay, if you don't know, Alex, Swamp Rat Fishing, the other co-host, he started this podcast. And then somehow he ended up my dumb ass on here. But we had Country Boy on, and Alex is originally from the Pacific Northwest, lives in Jersey. So he don't know shit about being country. And when Steve came home, he was talking about his horses and getting bucked off at the stoplight downtown. And like, I talk about this. Y'all go listen to that podcast. The last 2/3 of that podcast is some of the greatest shit you will ever hear. It was unbelievable. I want to fish with Steve. He's supposed to come up and fish some tournaments with us, but he ain't never made it up here. So I was curious if
I'll drag him up there.
Hey, well, come on, both of y'all come up. We don't have to fish no tournament. Come up, meet me and Dontrell up here this fall. In October, Jordan or Harris is going to be good, and we'll come up here and we'll fun fish and record some videos, and we'll get Steve's country ass out there doing country stuff.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I've invited Jay to come up and do a tournament on one of these lakes up here, but it hasn't taken yet. He's got a catch board, so he's ready.
Well, hey, man, that's all you do. Look, you got a kayak, a catch board, rod and reels. I mean, you ain't going to bring up the good rod and reels because they holding down papers on your desk. Or those stacks of money that you get from your sponsors, one of the two.
Nah, they're not stacks of money. No, so, I mean, I think I'll do real good at fishing tournaments. I think the reason what drove me in CrossFit tournaments is because I'm right there beside somebody. I can see you, and I can be like, okay, you're going just a little bit harder. I can go a little bit harder, and I'm gonna make it look like I'm cool as a cucumber. I'm like, hey, I'm chilling, and I'm watching you die.
Yep.
Now with fish tournaments,
it's that mind game.
Yep. So with fish tournaments, I'm like, you're all the way over there. I don't know what you're doing. You could be having the worst day of your life, and I could be having the best day of my life. And I'm just like, I have no idea if to go harder, to go slower. What did I do? I mean,
you'll figure out if you're one of those people who check the leaderboards constantly when they're not catching fish, or they just don't pick up their phone until at the end of the day and just see what happens at the end.
Yeah, well, see, Jay, this is who I am, right? So I fish 1,000 miles. I fish 100% from the time lines in to time lines out. I don't look at the leaderboard. I fish. I fish my ass off. I'm going to do what I do. Here's the other thing. I got 2 points here. One is I am not going to get beat leaving a launch. If there's one person or if there's 20 people at that ramp, when we launch, anybody going the direction I'm going in, I'm going faster than them. They are not going to beat me to wherever we're going. I will pedal my ass off. They will not beat me. I might hang with them and talk with them if I know them for a little bit, but then I'm kicking it into 6th gear and I'm going. And I've had people try to keep up with me. They just can't. Now, so far, nobody's got 6 mile per hour motors on their kayaks around here yet. But when you got that saltwater PDL, I know you looking. See, I see you looking. You got that saltwater PDL, and you posted a video when you got it about how fast it was. And this was the first time I ever met you. This was what, last year? It was last year for sure. You got it. And you posted about how fast you were going. And either I said, let's have a race on Instagram, commented, or I wanted to and didn't. I can't remember which one happened. But look, I'm always down for racing. And I will race anybody in my Hobie fully, just like the tournament. It don't have to be tournament day. I will load that thing down just like a damn tournament. I'll race. We're going to go 2 to 3 miles. And we're going to have a point. We'll see who gets there first. Because I ain't losing. I don't win fishing tournaments. So, damn it, by God, I got to win the race out of the launch.
You're going to lose, man. I'm sorry. You're going to lose.
No, this is it.
I do CrossFit, man.
For 2 to 3 miles, that's an endurance race. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going 4.75 miles per hour for 2 miles.
Easy. I can cruise that. I can sleep and cruise that.
Hey, Dontrell, we're going to have a race. We got to set this up.
Whenever y'all come up here to Harris.
We're going to fish. We're going to get out on Harris, and we're going to have a race before we fish. But we're going to race to a point where the fish are at so we don't waste time. But we're going to race. We're going to race, and we're going to see what happens.
Hey, Trey, you better let them know how fast that salty is, man.
Well, I'll have to get to the point before y'all. So I have to have a head start. I have to be able to tell who wins.
We'll give you the head start then to get down there. But hey, I would like you to be the rabbit, Dontrell, because I want to catch you and pass you too. Hey, y'all
Where am
ask
I in
Michael.
this conversation? Hold on. I'm
no,
at the finish line.
No. So Michael Wiggs wanted to come out, and we practiced together Friday for this tournament this past weekend, and he was ready to go. He was ready to go to hell home, and so he started taking off and went home, and I was still graphing, looking and shit, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm headed back. I'm all right," and he gets a head start, and I catch him. He's like, "God, the hell'd you come from?" I was like, "Man, I ain't over here farting around, but we're headed back. We're not doing anything, so I'm just cruising." I'm like, and he's back behind me now. I was like, dude, if I slow down, I'm gonna be going backwards. Come on, man, speed it up. Yeah, that's the thing about competition. I want to win everything. If it's damn going to a spot, if it's fishing, it doesn't matter. I love that competition side of it. I mean, it's the competition with the fish too. You're graphing around, or you see fish visually. Like they're there. They're there. They're right there. There's competition with you catching that fish that is right there. Like, to me, that is the essence of fishing. Regardless if you're fun fishing or not, if there are fish there, you're in competition to catch those fish. And that shit that's more competitive than racing or, competing in a tournament against another human being. You're competing against nature. And nature is the ultimate survivalist.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do. And so to compete with nature and to catch that one fish, like that's a competitive side of it there too.
Definitely. Like you just fooled it at his own game that's been doing for the past month, years, or whatever.
Millions of years, hundreds of thousands. Survival. They're there to survive. That's it. Survive and make babies. That's their sole entire existence. And the trick that one fish, how big or small it is, you beat it at survival. Because if you caught it, you keep that bitch and eat it. Like, I mean, they don't know that they going back in the water. They might be going in a bucket and going home for a fish fry tomorrow.
And that's part of it too. Like I don't. There's people who don't like fishing behind people. But then I typically do, or I don't mind it. Because there's a couple times where I fished behind somebody and I've caught fish. Because you're always doing something different than the person in front of you, or should be. There's thousands of different lures and stuff you have in the tackle box. You're most likely doing something different than what they're doing. And so you're always there's a chance that you're going to catch something that that person's not going to catch. And that's to me, it's kind of rewarding because it's like, all right, this area's been fished by 3 people already. I'm not going to catch anything in here. And then, boop, pluck 1, pluck 2. All right, maybe I figured out something that they haven't figured out. And, then your wheels start turning. You're thinking.
Hey, there's nothing more demoralizing than fishing and looking behind you and seeing somebody catch a fish behind you. Yeah. Like that shit makes me want to. It makes me want. I'm like, you know what? I'm terrible. I'm more worse than I thought I was.
Makes you want to ask him like, hey, what are you using? How you twitching it?
Yeah.
Slow, fast. Okay.
What color is that?
Questions on tournament day.
Yeah. What color? Hey, can I borrow some of those? It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, Jay, what's the future look like for your social media and for Jaded Country? What does it look like? Let's say over the next year, the rest of 2022, and then moving into the future. What does that look like for you?
I can't give away too much. I have something in the works already, and it's going to be getting more people out there on a broader scale, and it's going to be with more impact and more purpose. I haven't seen it done, I don't think I ever will see it done until I do it. And that's gonna be the great thing about it. And it's gonna be lovely. Just know that, man. It's gonna be more inclusive. It's gonna be reaching a broader area. People who actually need it, who need to be on a kayak. Just put it that way. Like not that we just want to, but you need to. Like you on the water, and you can just tell that being on the water did something for their soul, did something for just their well-being, their mental state. So that's what it's gonna go to right there.
And we hear a lot about veterans that get into kayak fishing, and you're in Fayetteville, so Fort Bragg's right there. Lots of veterans in that area. You hear that a lot with veterans about how getting on kayaks and getting out fishing, specifically kayaks, how that's helped them. A past guest and good friend of ours, Nick from Casting Crank, he's out on the West Coast in Southern Cal, and so they do these things where they get inner city youth in gang areas, and they get them out fishing out there. And Nick is one of the guys that helps with that in that area. So you have these folks that are looking for something to put that energy to and their thoughts to, and to be able to do that. So I'm interested, I know you can't say anything, but I'm interested to see where that goes, because that's local to me. It's local to Dontrell, and those are, we can potentially be a part of that for it to be right here. And then, knowing who you are, I'm sure it's just not located here. You've probably got a grand picture of everywhere where it goes. I'm interested to see where that goes. And again, it goes back to this whole conversation and what you said and who you are is to get people, it's not to grow the sport. It's just to get people out there and get them interested and show them that they can go out on a kayak and they can fish.
You don't gotta be the best. You can be the worst. You can just have a good time, man. Like you catch a fish. Like, hey, like seriously, just first off, be safe. Second, for me, just have fun. Like go catch fish. And then pass it down to your nephew, pass it down to your niece, pass it down to your son, your daughter. Like, hey, that's originally why I had my first kayak still, because when I had kids, I want to be like, hey, this is what I started out in. You're not getting my pedal kayak, you're getting on the list. So this is like the starter right here.
So y'all talked about the Black community and getting in fishing, and where I grew up, I grew up in a very diverse little area, and everybody fished from the bank or whatever. How have you focused on getting, the kids in your area out fishing? Have you done that, or is that just something that has happened because you grew up there and you know people? Like how have you grown that side of your outreach in the community?
I say for me, it's been both. Like me reaching out to people, me like seeing kids at Lake Rim, especially Lake Rim, because that's right there in the heart of Fayetteville, pretty much. And just being like, hey, I see you fishing on the pier. I'll just be running like, especially somebody who looks like they're up to no good. I'm like, hey, bro, come here. What you doing? You scared of water? You ain't? I bet you are. You scared of kayak, ain't you? Like,
you get straight to the point. You scared of water? Okay.
Yeah. Good. It's like I thought testing their pride. Like, I bet you're scared to get in the kayak too. And looking at the homeboys, oh, you scared, ain't you? Now, yeah, you scared, ain't you, man?
Yeah.
Come on, get in this kayak then, if you ain't scared. And that's how I started things. I know with young guys, they got that pride, like they got the ego. So I know how to test it for a minute. Like, yeah, you got your boys right here and everything. You don't want to look scared in front of them. So you're gonna get in the kayak, and then you're gonna love it. And then I just turned you around now. You just don't know what happened. You have no idea. And now you're gonna tell your homeboys to do the same thing.
And then in that area too, you're probably getting them where they catch a fish. If it's a brim or a bass or a catfish, they get to feel that pull, that tug on the line, and they get to reel it in. They get to hold that fish, and then that's a whole different kind of psychological thing. That gets them like, holy shit, man! This is something here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And then when I actually can like record them, give them a video or whatnot, like, hey, this is your video right here. All right, you can do whatever you want to with it. Let me go and get your number. I'm gonna send you that video, and then they can relive that moment like just again and again. I've actually had a couple of young guys to hit me up and like, yo, I've done this, I've done that. I need to go fishing, man. When are you free?
Dude, that's
and I know. Yeah, and I know the kind of lifestyle they're living. I'm like, okay, when they say they need to go fishing, they need their relaxed time again. So I'm like, all right, but I have to make that time.
That's awesome. Nice. Well, look, we're about to get, unless, Dontrell, you got any more questions?
No, I don't think so.
You're the worst damn co-host ever. You asked one damn question, Dontrell. I texted you and said, ask question. You know Jay better than I do. You should have had some fun stories.
I think that's the reason right there, just because he knows me. Like, he didn't have any questions to ask. Like, I know this dude. I mean, like,
I was like, I know just about everything he's done.
Hey, y'all fished a lot together, and y'all fished together. Well, Jay, you got Dontrell into it, so you've been with it when he was new and probably a little shaky. Do y'all have any funny stories? Anything that sticks out that's funny as hell that y'all were fishing together that happened? Snakes, alligators fell out the boat, spiders. I don't know.
I mean, two things. Hold on. Recently when we went out to salt, and I was talking to this guy Elliot, and initially I didn't know what it was come out the water. I was talking to him, like facing. I was facing him, and next thing you know, I see a grayish figure with a fin come out the water and come back in the water. I stopped talking immediately. I was like, Trail said it was a dolphin. Okay. I stopped. I was like, that's like 10 feet away from us, man. Because that means everybody needs to have lines up the water and sit still, because that looked pretty big. That looked like
very great whitish. There was like,
Look, there are great whites off the coast of North Carolina damn near year round too.
Yeah, and we're right there by the inlet. I'm like, it's already a good 30 feet down. I'm like, I don't know what I was talking about with Elliot anymore. I stopped. I was like I want to move her out the way, like, stop talking, shush.
That saltwater was about to look like it had a 150 horsepower motor on the back of it, didn't it?
Yup. And Trell was the only one who knew what was going through my head at that very moment. And that's like I say, he knows me. He knows me down to a T. He knew exactly what was going through my head. He didn't even question. Yo, Jay, what's up? He said, it was a dolphin.
So I got you.
Dontrell,
the meter change.
Dontrell, when you saw it, did you start thinking maybe I need to get the fuck out of there too, or did you?
No, I saw it. I was lucky that I happened to just be looking in that direction.
So you saw the whole thing.
Yeah, so I saw it come out in back in the water, and Jay was maybe like 15 yards in front of me, and I just saw just his whole everything. No. He just stopped talking about whatever he was talking about, and it was like this halfway out his
Woo, son.
But y'all do, Jay. Y'all got alligators over where you were in your neck of the woods too. Do you fish around any alligators at all?
Oh man,
that you know of?
Yeah. I stay away from Lake Rockmont. Lake Rockmont is epicenter of alligators. Like,
somebody got 8 there last year, didn't they?
I don't know.
Maybe. They're big fish in Lake Rockmont. I tempted. So you ain't going fishing at Santee?
A guy, CB, is trying to get me out there. If I fish in the Santee, man, I'm gonna be in the AP 120.
Well, there's gators out in Santee bigger than that. That's all I'm saying.
You
don't want to take the future beach out there?
No, sir. No, sir. That 10-foot sit-in, I'm gonna be sitting in the water.
Hell no. Look, when we had the Hobie out there, it was windy as hell the first day. I almost went in. And like I grew up not far from there. But look, I ain't stupid. Alligators, like, I was a wildland firefighter. I was in South Florida. There's a wildfire on the other side of this big canal. And there's 4 or 5 gators in this canal. And the guy that's from there, grew up there, he's looking, he's like, damn, man, we might have to cross this canal. I'm like, cross the canal? He goes, yeah. It's like, how the hell are we going to get across the canal? I said, we'll just jump in, swim. I'm like, the fuck? I'm country. I have fear of animals that I can't see. Or if I'm in, like, he's talking about swimming. I'm like, hell no. He's like, man, them gators ain't going to bother you. The next day, some lady had a gator drag her ass into the water 20 miles from where we are. He talking about swimming across that. Look, I respect nature. Lightning, I ain't fucking around with lightning.
Nope.
Gators in the water, I ain't getting in the water. No. We leaving. We going somewhere else. Like apex predators. There's a reason they've been around millions of years, and we've been around, a few thousand. Hell,
there you go.
No. In Florida for the temptation. Well, before last year. Well, I mean, it was this year. Last year was the first time I fished somewhere that had gators, but this year I went to Florida in January for Temptation on the first KBF event. And I pulled up to the ramp and I was, unloading all my stuff. And then some black guy, I think it was Jamaican or something, he pulled up and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, about to go fishing. It's like, they got gators in there? I was like, yeah. It was like, but I've been around them before. I mean, I keep my distance from the ones that I can see. He was like, there's gators in there bigger than your boat.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I have to fish here.
What tournament? So there was that tournament during the spring where it was gator mating season, Alabama, wherever it was. Christine Fisher got chased by a damn gator. Mm-hmm. And then that's also when Bailey from CS Angler, if you'll go check his stuff out, he came around a bend and there's a nice sized gator on the bank. And when he came around the bend and the gator saw him, when gators go in the water, they make a big ruckus. That gator hit the water, and Bailey's in his 360. He's like, nope. Pedaling his ass out as far as he was in a 12-footer too. But yeah, I mean, it's all about respecting their ass. You got to understand. Sometimes it's just time to go the other direction.
I did that last year for KFL. We had to go to Headwaters in Florida. And we were practicing. Everybody was kind of spread out, and it was a little uneasy being out there by yourself. Mm-hmm. There's gators all over the place, and I was somewhere practicing, and I don't know. I didn't see it on the bank. I just know there was a big ass splash behind me somewhere. I just clicked the motor, just started pedaling. Until I felt safe again, I clicked it off.
Well, another one at Santee when we were out there, it was just the beginning of mating season. So the gators get out there and they do these growls, whoa, whoa. And so I'm coming out of the trees, and I'm coming up to this bunch of these lilies and marsh in front of me, and I'm hearing this noise. And Ryan Lambert happens to be across the creek from me. And I'm hearing these noise, but it sounds like, if you ever fish around a bridge, you know what it sounds like when trucks go over the bridge. That's what it sounds like. So I'm thinking there's a bridge up there. And as I get closer, he goes, hey, I go, damn, what the hell is that? He goes, I think they're gators. So I pedal over there, and sure as shit, man, there must be 6 of them out there, and you can't see them. They're in the marsh, so they're not where we are, but they're just doing this noise that sounds like fucking trucks, log trucks going over a bridge. I'm like, shit. So I'm fishing. I turn around, everybody's gone. It's just me back there all alone. And I'm like, I got a little uneasy. I'm like, damn, man, like I could disappear, and the only thing they find is my fucking kayak. Oh, but anyway, so no more funny stories. All this fishing y'all done together, y'all ain't had no funny. Nobody falling out. Nobody doing anything dumb. Hooking themselves.
I got. It was when I took Hector out there with us too. So I had my lure stuck in a tree, and I'm like, looking at it. I'm like, how am I getting this lure down? This is my favorite lure. I'm just shaking the tree. I'm like, hey, I ain't getting this down. I look over at Hector. I'm like, hey man, how you doing? All right, so all I need you to do is go up on the bank, get off the kayak, go up on the bank, and climb this tree onto this flimsy twig of a branch and get my lure down. He had sandals on, not Crocs, just sandals. Like he climbed the tree with these sandals on. And he's like, I need something to cut the line. I'm like, okay, here's a knife.
You throw a knife.
He's like, it's open. I'm gonna catch it. Then he's there trying to cut the limb and everything. Ends up sliding down a tree with the knife open, like this. Hold the tree with the knife open and not get my lure. I'm like, hey man, you missed the lure. So then Trevor comes over. We end up getting the twig down, the branch. It was like a twig. It was a flimsy branch. Getting the branch down and cutting the branch off so I get my favorite lure. I still have the lure too. Carol, thank you.
What's the lure?
What you brought out?
What lure do you have people doing dangerous shit for?
It was a KVD jerk shad.
Man, you can buy those in every bait shop in America.
I don't care. That one.
That one.
My lucky lure.
Exactly. I still have it.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we have got to the point now that is the shotgun round. This is the only scripted section of Bass and Brews. And the shotgun round is a series of questions that we ask, and you just answer them. There ain't no thinking. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts or any of this. We ask it, you answer it. Now, if it's an answer that we don't necessarily agree with a lot, we're going to chastise you, and then we can elaborate. Usually, this should be quick. It's called the shotgun round, so this shit should go like this. Like, this podcast should be over in 5 minutes. But the shotgun round, usually what takes shit on longer. Now, Dontrell hadn't had these questions asked to him because of the nature of the podcast he was on. So I'm going to ask both of y'all these questions. And Jay, since you're the true guest, you're going to go first, and Dontrell gets to answer afterwards. So y'all, well, go ahead.
All right. So can almost every answer be French fries or bacon?
There's a question in here where that can be the answer, but the other one's probably not.
Okay. But say because bacon usually always answer for me.
Well, yes, but these ain't easy. These ain't easy questions, man. But you can't think about them. You just got to answer them. All right. First question: shotgun round. Bass and Brews. Weekly distraction from quality podcast content. The only reason anybody listens to this shitty ass podcast is because we have good guests on, like Jay Two Country. All right. Crocs or flops, Jay?
Crocs.
My man, Dontrell.
Crocs.
I love it. Look, 20 degrees outside, I wear Crocs because I step in the water and I take them off. My feet are all toasty. Crocs, no socks, year round.
Crocs only in the summertime. I can't do in the winter.
See, now you done fucked it up, Dontrell.
Hey, I'm the same. I'm with him. I wear some boots.
Got electric socks on in the winter.
Electric socks. I'm wearing those too.
Hold on. This man got his socks connected to his battery that's running his damn graph.
His feet is nice and toasty year round.
Look, he's trying to fish a tournament in February and his graph dies because the socks sucked all the damn battery juice out. Golly.
Yeah, they got their own battery. Just gotta make sure I charge them.
I wear Crocs, no socks, 20 degrees outside. I'm stepping in the water. Here's the deal: is in North Carolina when it's 20 degrees outside, the water is like 35. So if my feet get cold, I just put my feet in the water to warm them up.
But that wind chill though.
Yeah, but when that sun comes up and it hits your feet, it warms them up. You get steam rising up off of them. My feet ain't all crinkly at the end of the day. Look, I go barefoot 90% of the time. Sometimes I leave the house and I get to the store and I'm like, son of a bitch, I don't have no shoes on. So I go walking in the store barefoot as hell because you know what? I ain't going back home to get them. But I don't want my feet to get all soggy and my corns get weak and start falling off, man. I spend a lot of time building these corns up. All right. Question number 2, pineapple on pizza, yes or no, Jay?
Yes.
Yep.
Dontrell.
Yep.
Like on purpose.
Yes, chicken, bacon, pineapple.
Chicken, bacon. I can do chicken and bacon. That sounds delicious. Now, if I came to your house and you ordered a chicken, bacon, pineapple pizza, I'd eat the hell out of it. I wouldn't say a damn word. I'd eat it and enjoy it because it'd probably be delicious. But I ain't ordering pizza with pineapple on purpose. That's weird.
Go ahead and do it. I'll pay for it.
No, dude, I've already eaten it. Look, I went to UNC Chapel Hill. We'd order Gumby's, and sometimes we get pepperoni and pineapple. But it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was all they had left. All right. Jay, spend more on a rod or a reel?
Rod.
Dontrell.
Reel.
We're going to dive into this. Why rod there, Jay?
Because I don't need that rod breaking on me. The reel, if it breaks on me, I'm a hand line it in. Like that bait cast, I'm a hand line this thing in, man.
You know what? That makes sense coming from a guy who hand lined in a fish on a $300 reel. That makes sense. What you eating, cashews?
Nah, corn pops.
Corn pops? You been to Buc-ee's?
Yeah.
Dontrell, why reel?
I need my baits to go where I need them to go. And I think I need a good reel for that, more control.
Yeah. This is a tough question because there are sometimes I want a reel. I don't give a shit about the rod. And then there are other times where I don't give a shit about the reel. I care about the rod. So it's a tough question, but in general, I spend more money on reels than I do rods in general. That's kind of how I roll. But you know, we could throw that question out. That's one of Alex's stupid ass questions he wanted to ask. I came up with the good questions. We'll get to later. All right, Jay, in a 3-hour session, do you want to catch 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder? You get 3 hours on the water, and you go out there. You want to catch 1 7-pounder or 5 2-pounders? Mm-hmm.
5 2-pounders.
Oh, Dontrell.
1 7.
I knew you were gonna say
that.
Yeah. I knew he was.
Why the 5 2-pounders, Jay?
It's consistent. It's just like, okay, maybe that's a bad savvy hour. Maybe technically it's like a bad savvy 45 minutes. So it's like, okay, doing something right. Maybe that 1 7-pounder is wrong place and wrong time.
So what you saying is Dontrell is shitty at fishing because he looked into a 7-pounder and you caught 5 2-pounders he was good.
No, because to catch a 7-pounder, they don't get big for no reason. They don't get big by being dumb. So Technically, we both got it good then, because I just picked more fish who happen to be newer and smaller, and he happened to trick out the grandma.
Jay likes picking on the grandbabies.
Exactly. In my size.
But Jay, that fits this whole podcast, what we've talked about why you fish saltwater, freshwater, and why it doesn't matter what you're catching. That fits what you want to do. You just want to catch something on the other end of your line.
Yeah.
And Dontrell looks at it is if you're in a tournament, and I'm speaking for Dontrell because I think I know where he's coming from. If I'm in a tournament and I only catch 1 7-pound fish, there's a really good chance I'm going to win $200 or $300 of big fish.
Yeah, that's true. Well, fun fishing. I've had days where I haven't caught anything, but I caught a big fish. Right at the end, I was like, today was a good day.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't have to be a numbers day, but if you catch a good one,
I
redeem the last 3-4 hours that you've been out there.
I agree with that. Like catching and holding up that a 7-pound fish, that's a freak fish. Like in a majority of the country, there are certain areas where you can catch numerous of those, but in general, that's a freak fish. I mean, that's a trophy fish for a lot of people. That's a lifetime fish for some people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jay, Wacky Rig or Texas Rig?
Freeze up.
Wacky Rig or Texas Rig?
Hold up. You back now?
Yep. You good. Wacky Rig or Texas Rig?
Oh, man. Texas.
See, that's a good Southern answer right there for sure. Dontrell, Wacky or Texas?
Texas Rig.
Are you pegging that Texas Rig or not?
I am, yeah.
No. Weightless.
If you grew up in the South and you started fishing when your uncles, your neighbor, your best friend, whoever, you throwing something Texas Rig 99% of the time, because we fishing farm ponds off the bank, and the only way people knew how to rig a worm was Texas Rig. We didn't know about no damn Wacky Rig. Like, I mean, you don't back y'all. I'm a little bit older than y'all. There wasn't no YouTube. Everybody's fishing Texas Rig because that was what was at Walmart's.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Slow jams or hype music?
It depends on the mood.
No, they ain't no depends. Answer it. You got one or the other.
Oh, God. Is it early morning, late night?
No, you just got to choose. Look, you wake up one morning and you go into the ramp or you're on the water. If you listen to music on the water and you're choosing one, what you choosing?
These are hard questions. My brain's be done for after this. God.
Look,
my brain's frying.
If there's anything beside mediocre podcasting that we're known for, is for frying people's brains at the end of the podcast.
You're doing a great job. Okay, hot music or slow jams. I'm gonna go with slow jams.
I figured you're a hype man person. Dontrell.
Well, hype music.
I knew the answer to that because I've heard your radio playing in the truck down the ramp. Squalling tire. Looks like damn Dukes of Hazzard coming down the ramp. You're not sure if he's going to stop or if he's going to just send all the way in there.
Send it, full send.
Yeah. So what kind of slow jams, man? Some R&B, some country. What are we listening to on the slow jam side?
A little bit of mix of everything, pretty much. I'm really digging right now, like reggae music, like Benja. Just anything that's maybe if I'm doing like country or something like that, maybe some Zach Brown band, like the older albums and everything.
Mm-hmm.
R&B, I mean, old R&B, like 90s. Baby making music.
Keith Sweat. Hey, hell,
All time Brian McKnight.
Baby making music. Yes. Baby making music. See that you can tell we grew up in the PD regions of the Carolinas because we call it a slow jam. But Keith Sweat, Boys to Men, that's baby making music, man.
Baby making music, man.
Look, the kids that were consummated in the time that they're adults right now, they came from the baby making music of the R&B of the 90s and the late 80s.
Mm-hmm. Now, see, I say slow jams before fish or something like that because I know I'm gonna get real hype on the water. Like I catch a fish, somebody else catch a fish, I'm getting hype. So my heart rate is going from like 60 to like 200. I don't need to get hyped for that. I don't need to be at 120 because then it's gonna go to 300. I'm gonna be redlining. I'm gonna be out.
Look, Jay, you post some really good content that's inspirational, but this one time you posted an Instagram story or a post or something about your resting heart rate and what it's supposed to be, and mine's way higher than that. I'm like, God, am I dying? So my hypochondriacism stepped in. I'm like, shit, am I dying? Like, do I need to go to the doctor? Is something wrong with me? I want you to know you made me a hypochondriac +1. Do you remember that post? You probably don't.
I remember that post.
Okay, so I'm reading that. I'm like, golly, what? I know I'm fat, but am I fatter than I think I am? Hell, shit. What kind of hype? Go ahead. What were you saying, Jay?
No, I say like my resting heart rate is freaky. It's very freaky. I mean, even though I'm relatively calm right now, you can still kind of see my veins like still kind of popping out and everything. But I mean, it has to be really something that gets me going to have my heart rate above what beats per minute. I'm gonna say my usual is like 55, 60-ish. So it's beating slower than the actual minute is. Something has to get me really hyped, get my BPM up, and then it's going back down.
Like a shark in the ocean while you're in a kayak.
Yeah, right there. That it's all of us around. It's like, okay, like who's getting bumped first? I was like, okay, Ellie, you're getting bumped first because you're closest. If you get bumped, I'm bumping that way.
Ryan was digging a spoon in the water.
What?
Yeah, he tied up a spoon before we had headed back to the ramp for that picture.
Yeah, man.
Dontrell, what kind of hype music you listening to?
Anything. I usually just open Spotify and put on one of those pre-made playlists they have, Rap Caviar or something like that. Or
Rap Caviar.
Yeah, Lil Wayne or Drake, Future, don't matter.
So you beating the steering wheel on the way in. You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, half the time I got to wake myself up still.
Red Bull.
4 o'clock in the morning, didn't sleep because I was too worried about what the hell I'm going to be doing for the day.
Or some asshole kept you up talking nonsense. That'd be me raising my hand for people listening, not watching. All right, Jay, have you ever eaten beaver?
I have not yet. I have a homie, Rail. He traps beavers. He does an awesome job of trapping them and cleaning them, skinning them, and everything. I know he's gonna have me try it one day, or he's gonna trick me into trying it one day.
Well, look, you can't trick nobody into eating beaver because you ain't never gonna eat nothing. That's like, but you gonna know right away that he's trying to trick you. But I'm assuming, does he cook it over a smoker?
Most of the time, he actually stews it.
Oh, hell yeah! Either way, slow cooking, that shit is delicious. Dontrell, you ever eaten beaver?
I didn't know people ate them like that.
see, you can tell Dontrell's a transplant. He's been down here a long time, but he ain't really from the country because he don't know nobody that eats beaver.
Oh yeah, man, it's a real thing. Like this dude catches like 50, 60-pound beavers.
Damn it, boy. Damn. God, dog. Them some bitch will peel your leg off if you ain't careful.
Let me tell you, you be holding him up, both legs up right here, and just whole body like outside of his body. I'm looking like, how much that thing weigh, bro? I'm about 60 pounds. You just all calm about it? Yeah.
So when are we gonna get a video of you going trapping beaver with your buddy?
Soon. It's gonna be soon. I want to get the. I'm thinking about getting the a new kayak canoe hybrid. It's the Old Town Discovery Solo 119. So it's made like a canoe, but it paddles like a kayak. So I'm thinking about getting that just so we can go out there and hit that up.
Jay, we need a catch to cook to table beaver video. Is he froze or is he thinking?
Oh, no, I'm not thinking. I'm regretting.
All right. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. Jay, do you eat largemouth bass?
I have.
But do you do you willingly
on a regular basis? No.
Yeah. Okay. See, saltwater guys usually ain't gonna eat no largemouth bass, even if they catch them, because they prefer the saltwater fish over largemouth any day of the week. And I get it. Dontrell, you eat largemouth bass?
Not willingly. I've had it before, but I don't fish to keep and cook and all that stuff. And everybody knows me. It's like, do you keep any of your fish? It's like, nope. I got uncles. So it's like, you keep any of those fish? Nope. Take a picture, throw them back. That'll be in the grease.
Look, you fish close to the bank and you fish around people with buckets and you throwing the fish back. They're like, hey, whoa.
Exactly.
Look, I'll give them anything they want except for the bass because, it's against the rules. Can't kill it. Can't keep it. Got to let it swim off. Jay, is Alex Rudd overrated or underrated?
I like to stir the pot. So I'm going to say overrated.
That's 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Do you know who Alex Rudd is?
I want to say I do.
This is the greatest question that we have ever added to this, right? So Alex came on the podcast, and on his podcast, he does, and you just go look up Alex Rudd. He's a YouTube guy, does a podcast. He does an overrated, underrated. And so when he was on our podcast, at the end of it, when the podcast is over, we were talking about it, and he was talking about, man, just one day, maybe somebody will say, I'm overrated. So Alex started asking this question the very next week. And everybody has said underrated or adequately rated, which ain't even a choice. So they suck. But anyway, the last two, Brundle last week and this said overrated. And I love it. He's been waiting on it. But we've also had a lot of people go, I didn't even know who the Alex Rudd was until he was on Bass and Brews. I'm like, holy shit. Like, this guy's got tens of thousands of followers. And here we are with like 5 listeners. And they're finding him through our shit. So, that makes me feel good. But I like that. I'm going to text Alex Rudd and said, you know what? Jay the Country said you overrated. You're bald, your beard sucks, and you're overrated, Alex. That's what Jay said. Dontrell, overrated or underrated? I know you know Alex is.
I'll go opposite. I'll say under.
Alex is a good dude. This is all fun. So anybody listen, don't get your panties in a wad. Alex is a great guy. He's wonderful. But, sometimes he is overrated. He is. He's a tall, lanky guy that sits in a kayak, and he ain't 7 foot tall like Brandon. So, he's not as cool. He's close, but not. All right, this is the last question.
Tallest kayak bass fisherman ever.
Yeah. Jay, this question is right up your alley. You might be the best person to ask this question to on, I think we're at like 78 or 79 episodes. You're going to disappoint me or make me ecstatic over your answers.
Oh, God.
This question can make or break careers. Ooh. We've had people answer this question who had podcasts who their podcast ended 2 weeks later.
Oh, wow. Right?
This is a career make or break question. All right.
Oof.
I expect great things from you, Jay. Dontrell, I have no idea what the fuck you're going to say, but Jay, I expect great things. All right. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Hamburger.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. 2
Hey,
more.
man, give me a hamburger with some barbecue sauce, some cheddar cheese, some Swiss cheese, maybe a little ranch on there, some, I don't need no toasted buns. Like, give me some honey wheat bread, the sandwich bread, just smack it in between the middle. And, yeah.
Your shirts ain't got no chance being stain free after eating that hamburger.
Nah. Yes, they do.
All that sauce, every bit of it dripping on. All right, you got 2 more. We got 2 more proteins now.
All right, you got your sandwiches.
Look. If it's a protein, it can go between 2 slices of bread. So any protein you'd put on a sandwich, make your own sandwich. 2 more proteins.
Deer burger.
Oh, my man.
Features sold.
We got hamburger, we got deer burger, and then what's the third one?
Third one. Chicken sandwich.
Fried, baked, blackened. What we going with?
Nah, we're gonna go ahead and do grilled or oven baked. I would say fried, but I mean I haven't done anything fried like that in a long time, like deep fried.
Man, see, that's why I weigh 253 pounds and you weigh like 160. Because I love eating fried shit. But fried anything is tough when you're fishing because it ain't ever crispy. It's cold and it ain't crispy. It ain't enjoyable. Like I usually pick the fried shit off because it's soggy and it I don't like it. And I throw that shit in the water and I eat just the chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say grilled.
Yeah. I want it grilled. I want it black and grilled too. I want something with some sugar sauce on it that makes it got some crispy. Blackened up. Dontrell, top 3 sandwich proteins.
Well, because you asked this, I'm thinking like I'm out fishing, just quick sandwich. So I'm doing peanut butter and jelly.
Okay, peanut butter.
Sliced chicken. And honey ham.
See, Dontrell rich. This man went with the cheap cold peanut butter and jelly into sliced deli meats. Like no leftovers, no nothing, just all up in there. That's good. Look, these are good answers. Jay, Dontrell, we've had people say spinach. We've had somebody say cheese. And yes, they have protein in them, but they ain't proteins. But man, I love the deer burger. Huh?
Who's eating a cheese sandwich or a spinach sandwich?
Well, the cheese sandwich came from our good buddy Delirious Angler with Hookset Hoodlums, and then spinach came from our good buddy Bailey Egbert from Serious Angler. He said fucking spinach. And I'm like, look, I grew up eating mayonnaise sandwiches. A piece of bread, 2 inches of mayonnaise, and another piece of bread. Just a straight up mayonnaise sandwich. But I ain't ever put no spinach between 2 pieces of bread and called it a sandwich and ate it. Like I got to have some meat in that spinach.
Oh,
that's a deconstructed salad. You got the bread, the croutons, and
but they even they soft crouton. They the pre-crouton.
Like, did you say anything about like putting some ranch dressing on there or any kind of Italian dressing? Just some dry spinach and bread.
boat, the first thing we asked this question, the first thing out of his mouth was, so we asked the question just like I asked you, and he goes, spinach. And we're like, what?
Like what else?
But anyway, we get that happened a year ago or more, and we still give him shit about that. He doesn't listen to the podcast. Most podcasters and YouTubers, they don't listen to a lot of podcasts and YouTubers, so he never hears this, but we pick on him every fucking episode after that. It's great. It's great content, great content. Well, look, guys, this was awesome. I really appreciate you being here. Dontrell, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to let Jay go at the end. Dontrell, anybody, sponsors, friends, family, anybody you want to holler out that makes fishing fun for you, that you just want to shout out on this podcast?
Yeah, we'll go Biz Baits, Carolina Waters, Titan Tungsten, Falcon Hooks, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, my dad, I'm always fishing with him, and every time I go home, we have a night. We have a Father's Day fish off every time I go home. You go fishing nice. In the pond.
What does the winner get? What does the loser have to do?
Nothing crazy. It's usually just bragging rights,
and
it's a pond he fishes just about every day because it's right down the street in the neighborhood.
So what you're saying is he beats you all the time. I hear
for the most part, and I don't get to go on my kayak and go do my own thing. We're on his John boat and we're fishing together.
Oh man!
Well, look, you just got to tie on the shit that he's throwing and cast over him. Like he don't. When you in the same boat in a competition against each other, like there ain't no.
And then he makes me drive the boat in the back, so he gets the front of the boat.
So the trolling motor's in the back of the boat.
Yeah,
Dontrell, look, dude. Let me give you a piece of advice. Put the back of the boat forwards. Since the trolling motor's in the back, you just point the back of that boat first, and you troll, and you get first cast at everything.
Well, he likes to say he's at a disadvantage because he calls me asking for tips and stuff like that because I'm more experienced or I'm out here more doing more things. But it's fun.
Yes, home field advantage though.
Yeah. I think the advantage is he is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey, well, that's great. You get to go fishing with your dad. I grew up fishing with my dad. Matter of fact, he bought a beat up old John boat. It had little leaks in it. We were putting putty and bubble gum and whatever we could, wash rags to stop leaks and stuff. And we had a old car battery that we found somewhere that lasted 2 hours and a trolling motor that you had to, knock to get the damn half work. But we went out to our little farm ponds and he would take me fishing all the time. We learned a lot. He met some other guys that taught us stuff, and that's got me to where I am now, was being able to fish with my dad. We don't get to do it much anymore, about once every 2 years to get out there, but getting to fish with your dad like that, man, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jay, I made you go last because we probably got about 30 minutes to another hour for you to holler at all the people that make fishing. But yeah, anybody you want to holler out, Jay, you got a lot of sponsors, you got a lot of people helping you. I know you got some stuff coming up in the pipeline that you can't talk about, but I know all of these people that you're working with are going to be sponsors, and they're going to be big helps to you doing what you want to do. So holler out the folks you want to holler out.
Oh Jesus, man! I don't want to leave nobody out. I'm always getting chastised for this. Like, hey man, you didn't say my name. I was in the moment. I'm sorry.
But you know what? I mean, it's look, if people, the majority of people are following you on your social media, and all your stuff is on your social media, and you can find it there, folks. And Dontrell, we'll get back to you because I forgot to ask you to holler out your social medias, but we'll get you at the end. But anyway, it don't matter. Holler out what you know, Jay, because people can find the rest of it. But, just the folks that are right now are big supporters of what you're doing.
Definitely. I know. I mean, everybody knows me for my faith and everything. So, first and foremost, God, Jesus Christ. Then Old Town, Fish USA, Tacticam, Carolina Waters, Red Blazer, Yak Gear. God, I don't think I'm missing somebody. I don't think I'm missing anybody. Am I missing somebody, man?
I don't think so.
Knock. I'm like, hold on. Who powers my whole kayak? Nakwa, man. Nakwa.
They the only local company. They're the ones right down the road there in Charlotte.
They're in Carolina Waters, Nakwa, Carolina Waters, yo. Like Nakwa is actually all the companies that I'm with are such family based. Like I love that. I don't want to be with a company that's not family based and is not trying to reach people. So these companies that I'm with is for an intended purpose. It's there for intended purpose. And I've had other companies come up to me and be like, "Hey, you want to do this deal? Yada yada. I pay this much money." I'm like, "Nah, I don't like what y'all about. I'm sorry. I can't be my name can be connected with y'all. I don't want that. No offense to y'all, but we have two different views.
That's a tough call to make, and to say that. I mean, that speaks a lot. I mean, it's hard to say. Hard to tell people no, especially when they're giving you product or discounts or something like that. It's hard. That's awesome. All right, Jay, where can we find you on the socials?
All right, so everything's gonna be under J2 Country. That's JAY, the number 2 Country, COUNTRY. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Yes, sir. Everything. Like type in J2 Country and you'll see it there. I think I like that name down for almost every social media platform. Yeah, I had to grab that.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
That's good. I went to UNC Tar Heels, and so my freshman year, back when I was in school, it was AIM, AOL, Instant Messenger. And so I chose Paul Heels. So my name's Paul Heels instead of Tar Heels, Paul Heels. I got it. For whatever reason, it's never been chosen for anything ever until I wanted to get on TikTok. And be damned if there's somebody on TikTok with Paul Heels, he will even post. So I had to take up the name Jabberhammer, which was given to me by our lovely friend Cupcake Coley. And so I roll with that on the TikTok. So
I would say you could reach out to him and be like, "Hey man, I know you don't post, but would you be interested in changing your name?"
Yeah, put a 1 behind it and give me the real Paul Heels.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll give you $5.
Yeah, $5. I thought about I better do it now before my TikTok explodes and I become really famous. Which I don't know. It'll never happen. I post the stupidest shit on TikTok, but people really do like it. All 5 followers really love it.
See?
Say, Dontrell, shout out your social sauce.
D Sullivan Fishing right there, somewhere in there. Yeah, that's Instagram. YouTube is Yak Bass NC, and my name Dontrell Sullivan on Facebook, and that's it.
Hey,
King Juke on Twitter, King_Juke on Twitter. I haven't changed that. That's just the Twitter handle I've had since I made Twitter back in college, and I think it's Yak Bass NC on TikTok too. I think.
Hey, Dontrell, what's the page you do with Alex and Robert? Don't you do an Instagram stuff with Alex and Robert, Yak Bassin or something? You don't?
No.
Just say yes, so I don't look more stupid than I already am.
Yeah, I have to go back.
Maybe.
I thought you and Robert and Alex posted together on some kind of Instagram, like Yak Bassin or something or another. I don't know shit. Anyway, I have royally screwed up Dontrell's socials. Y'all forget everything that just happened in the last 10 seconds. Listen to all that before. Look, guys, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was a great time. It was awesome to get some local North Carolina guys in here, and especially finally getting a North Carolina guy in here that does a lot of saltwater fishing along with the freshwater side. Man, this was awesome. I appreciate y'all coming on. Any last words or thoughts before we end this?
Pearl, bull, red fish.
Yeah, y'all don't see me holding up a 50-inch bull red by the end of the year. Hopefully,
I'm gonna hold on 50. I'm gonna hold a 51-inch.
Dontrell's gonna hold up.
He's got to beat me because of last Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh God!
But Dontrell's gonna be holding up a 50-incher. Jay's gonna be in the background taking a picture, pissed off as hell, and he's gonna make it fuzzy. He's gonna take the camera and be like, click, click, click. Damn,
I don't know what happened, man. I couldn't get a good picture.
Damn,
exactly. It was wind, waves, elements, man.
Hey, Jay, what you do is you hit that little circle button and you act like you're taking a picture of him with your fish, and you take a picture like. So when he goes to look at him, the fish ain't there. But anyway, thank y'all for coming on. Look, folks, this is Bass and Brews Podcast, your weekly distraction from quality podcast content. We're here every week. We might have a special episode dropping tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. This hits Friday. Y'all are listening to it now. Thank y'all for coming on. We'll see you on the next go round. Y'all fellas hang out before you end it. Here we go. Hey-o.